Hey, hello guys, this is Shekar. Now I am gonna talk about data types in Oracle database. How we are using data types here means data types will specify that what type of data is storing under a column of a particular table in the Oracle database. So these data types will specify that what type of data is storing under a column of a particular table in Oracle database. Let us assume that here we have the table. The table name is student. It is having five columns and the three rows. Five columns and the three rows. So the columns are SID, S name, that means student ID, student name, DOJ means date of join of the student, then marks, student's marks, then SV means student fee. So here data types will specify what type of data is storing under a column of a particular table. That means here under the SID column we are storing numbers. We are storing, that means the numbers 125, 412, 132. This data is belongs to numbers family. That's why we are taking the number data type for the SID column. Similarly, when it comes to S name, that means name in the name always in the form of characters. That means English letters and including the characters. So that is why these Raju record and James record and Smith record is belongs to char data type, characters data types, or var2 data types. So similarly, DOJ under DOJ column, a date of join means the data will be in date format only. That is why we are taking date as a date format to the date of join column. So similarly, when it comes to marks column, so under marks column we are going to enter the marks only. So that is why the marks is also in the form of numbers. In the form of numbers. That is why we are checking numbers. So similarly, student fee is in the form of amount. Amount is nothing but the numbers. So that is why this is the way of storing the values under a particular column is called data types. So here the data type will specify what type of data is storing under the particular column of a table. That is the use of the data type. So generally we know the syntax of a creation of the table is create table name, and we are mentioning while the creation of the table column name 1, and here we are mentioning the data type for the column name 1, and we are giving the size for the data type. Similarly, a column 2 of the table we are creating here column 2 and assigning the data type and mentioning the size for the data type for the column name 2, and so on, like this. So on column name n we are creating of the table we are mentioning the column name n and giving the data type for the column name n and mentioning the size for this data type. So this is the general syntax of a table creation in Oracle database. So let us see example for this. Create table. Now I'm going to creating one table here. For that purpose, here we have the syntax is according to the table creation syntax. I am creating this table. Create table, and table name is student, and column name 1 means student ID, and I am giving the data type for the student ID column is integer data type. Integer means here integer means numbers. Integer means 1 to 1 comma 3 comma dash numbers. We know very well in mathematical terminology, integers means numbers, nothing but numbers. Integers nothing but numbers. So that's why I'm taking the integer for the SID column, and I'm taking a char data or var2 data for the S name, and when it comes to DOG column, I'm giving the data type is date, because it is the date of join column. No? That's why I'm giving data type for the date of join is date. So after that, here we have the marks column. marks column, marks are always in the form of numbers only. That's why I'm taking the number data type for the marks column, and I'm giving the size for the marks for size for the number data type is 3. So at lastly, then student fee column is there, and student fee is also in the form of amount is nothing but in the form of numbers only. That's why I'm taking the number data type for the student fee, and I'm giving the precision scale here. So I will tell you what is the precision and scale. What precision represent, P represents precision here, and S represents scale. So I will show you what is mean by the P and S here. So let us see the what types of data types here in database. So here we have char data type, and second one varchar data type, and third one varchar2 data type, and fourth one number data type, and fifth one integer data type, and sixth one date data type. So here we should know about the most commonly used data types in Oracle. These are the most commonly used data types in Oracle. So let us see what is mean by this. These six data types in Oracle database. So for that we need to know about the char. The char is a data type. It will store characters. It will store characters into a column of a particular table. So here it will char is a data type. It will store characters into a column of a particular table. Characters means so here you should know about the characters means. Characters the alpha in letters A to Z is the characters, and the small a to z and small a to z are also characters, and 0 to 9 numbers are also characters, and the symbols at the rate, hash, and percentile, and dollar, and approximately equals to, and this ampersand symbols and underscore symbols, these are all the characters in computer Oracle terminology. These are all called as the characters. So here what we do in char data type means, so it will store characters into a particular column of a table. So char data type will store these characters into a column of a particular table. So this is the meaning of the char data type. So it is a fixed length data type. I will show. I will tell you what is mean by the fixed length. I will show you later. Then it stores the characters up to 2000 bytes in database. So char data type will store characters up to 2000 bytes in the database. So this is the definition of the char data type. Then here we have the varchar. So it will also store characters. It will also store this all characters into a column of a particular table. It is a variable length data types. When it comes to char data type, it is a fixed length data types, and when it comes to varchar data type, it is a variable length data types. I will tell you what is mean by variable length data type later. So it stores characters up to 2000 bytes in database. So varchar data type stores characters up to 2000 bytes database. So this is the definitions for the char data type and varchar data types. And finally in character data types, here we have the last one is varchar2 data types. So it will store characters into a column of a table. So it is also used to store characters into a column of a table. But it is a variable length data types, as like a varchar data type. It is also a variable length data types, but only difference between the varchar and the varchar2 is it stores up to 4000 bytes in the Oracle database. But when it comes to varchar data type, it will store characters up to 2000 bytes in Oracle database. This is the difference between the varchar and the varchar2. So here what is mean by fixed length and what is mean by variable length means, let us assume that I will show you the explanation. I will show you. So this is for example of diagram to understand what is the difference between the char data type and the varchar2 data type. Means if you are creating a table, with the columns data types are, and now I'm creating, for example, create a table or test name is bank, and create table name is bank, this table name is employee. So I'm giving employee name is ename, that means employee name. I'm giving the column ename, that means the employee name, and I'm mentioning according to the table syntax. I'm mentioning the data type for the ename column is ename means having the characters. That means I'm going to assigning the data type for the ename column is a char data type. I'm giving the size for the char data type here. So this is the process of creating the table syntax for the employee table. So here what happened, so we gave 10 as a size for the char data type for the name column. I gave 10 for the 10 as a size for the name column, ename column. So what will happens in the Oracle database, if I give the when inserting the value for the ename column in the employee table. So now I am inserting Raju. Now I inserted Raju name for the ename, Raju name for the employee table in ename column. So but I am giving 10 size. 10 represents 10 characters length. So but I inserted in that column the value is Raju, having only 4 characters. So remaining six blocks will be wasted in Oracle database. This is the problem with char data type. So to get rid of this problem, we are using varchar2 in the place of char data types. So let us see how we are going to creating the column name having the data type of varchar2 here. Similarly, create table employee, and I'm giving the column name is employee name, ename, and I'm mentioning varchar2. So I'm giving the size here for the varchar2 data type of the column ename. So while the creation, I'm giving the column name is ename. Here, and I am giving the data type for the ename column is varchar2, and I mentioned the size for the data type varchar2 of the column ename is 10. So I gave 10 for the 10 as the size of the varchar2 data type, but I'm going to insert Raju value by using the varchar2 data type in ename column of the table employee. So what will be happens with this varchar2 data type? So I inserted Raju name for the ename column. It is having the 4 characters. and the remaining 6 characters in the database will not be going to be wasted with this varchar2 data type. This is the difference between the char data type and the varchar2 data types. Here in char data type, we are given the size for the char data type is 10, and we are inserted the value name is Raju having 4 characters. So that is why the rest of the blocks in the Oracle database will be wasted in the Oracle database. When it comes to varchar2 data type, we gave the size of the varchar2 data type for the ename column is 10, but we are inserted the name Raju having the 4 characters, Raju, only 4 characters. So then remaining rest of the blocks in the database will not be going to be wasted in this database, Oracle database. So by using this WarCat2 database, we are not going to be wasted this memory now. That's why the performance of the database will improves. So it is very better than better to use WarCat2 than char data type in Oracle database. This is the difference between the char data type and WarCat2 data type. So and and the difference between the char and WarCat2, WarCar and the WarCat2 is it is only stores 2000 bytes. So and when it comes to WarCat2 data types, it is only stores it stores the characters up to 4000 bytes. So nowadays then most of the users can use, instead of using WarCar data types, they are using WarCat2 data type, because the size here the matter. It is WarCar is going to be store characters in 2000 bytes, up to 2000 bytes only. When it comes to WarCat2, it will store the characters up to 4000 bytes. That's why we are using, the most of the users in Oracle database, they are using WarCat2 instead of WarCar. And this WarCar is outdated version for the outdated data type in the Oracle database, and WarCar2 is the latest version, latest data type is using for the characters in database. So this is the difference between the WarCar and the WarCat2. Here character will store the characters into a column of a table. Here it is fixed length data type. That is, memory is going to be wasted. Rest of the memory is going to be wasted with this char data type. And it will comes to when it comes to WarCar data types, it is a variable length data type. That is, memory is not going to be wasted in the Oracle database. Here WarCar and the WarCat2 are nothing. WarCar is nothing but WarCat2, but only difference is it stores only 2000 bytes in the Oracle database. When it comes to WarCat2 data type, it stores up to 4000 bytes. This is the difference between the WarCar and the WarCat2. The mechanism of char data type is fixed length data type, and the mechanism of these WarCar and WarCat2 data types are variable length data types. That means the memory, rest of the memory, whatever the spaces in the memory, is not going to be wasted in the Oracle database. When it comes to char data type, it is going to be wasted the remaining blocks, remaining spaces, whatever we given in while table creation in the data type, remaining empty boxes are not going to be wasted in the Oracle database with the use of the char database. This is the char and the WarCar and the WarCat2 data types. Let us see the example to understand how we are going to use this data types in Oracle database. Let us see in practical examples. I am going to connect to the Oracle database through the SQL Plus tool to explain this char data type and the WarCat2 data types in the Oracle database. Now I am going to connect to the Oracle database through the SQL Plus tool. I got connected to the Oracle database through the SQL Plus. Now I just want to clear the screen to understand easily. So now I'm going to explain the char data type, how we are going to use the char data type to a particular column to store what type of data is storing under a particular column of data, a particular column of a table. So that's why I'm going to explain the char data type in Oracle database. That's why to understand the char data type, now I'm going to creating one table here. So according to the syntax to table creation, create table, table name is, now I'm going to give the table name is test here, and I'm mentioning column name 1 means student, column name 1 means a student name, or you can take a name also, name, and I am giving the data type for the name. Now I am giving the data type for the name column. So that data type specifies what type of data is going to be stored under this name column. So now I am giving a data type for the name column is So it is in the name. No, name is always in the form of characters. Now that's why I'm taking char data type here. Char data type for the name column, and I'm giving the size for the char data type is 10. In the size for the char data type is 10, and only I'm creating a table with only one column. That's why I took only a name column, and I given char data type for the name column, and I mentioned 10 as the size of the char data type of the name column. So this is the table creation. This is the test table creation. So now I want to see the result. So table test is created. Table test has been created here. So now I want to see the structure of the table. Structure of the table means how many columns are there in the table. To see, here we have the query is describe space table name. Table name means here our table name means test. So it will show how many columns are there in your table. How many columns are there in test table? This is going to be retrieve that result. So now now I want to see the result. So here we have the test table having only one column. That column name is name. So and the what type of data type we are mentioned while the creation is char data type for the name column, and we have given the size for the char data type for the name column is 10. So this is the structure. This is the structure of the table. To see this structure, we are using desk space table name is test. So this is the query desk space test. This is the query to retrieve the structure of the particular table. That means particular table name means test. So here we have only one column in test table. That column is assigned with the data type of char, and we have given 10 as the size for the name data type, name column. So now I'm going to enter one row for the test table. So let us see how many rows are there. Now let us see how many rows are there in the test table. Means here we have the query. We know very well how to retrieve the number of rows in the column number of rows and the columns from a particular table. Means select star from table name. Here table name is the test. So to see how many columns and how many rows are there in the particular table, means select star from table name. Here select star from table name is test. So now I want to see how many rows are there in the test table. That means I want to see the details of test table. So now I want to show the details of test table. That means I want to see the records in the test table. I want to see the rows in test table. That's why I'm using this query select star from test. So so now I'm going to see the result is. So there is no rows are there. So we just created the table having only one column, but we didn't insert any row. We didn't insert any value to this test table under the column name, column name. So we didn't insert as of now. So that is why it's showing no rows in this test table. So now I'm going to inserting one value to the column name to the test table. So that's why I'm using the insert command, insert query here. Insert into table name means here test, and values are. So how many columns are there in the test table? Only one column. That's why I'm giving only one value for the name column. So now I'm going to enter one value, one name. That one value means one name. And now I'm going to enter the one name. This is the Raju. I'm going to entering under the column name to the test table. So here we have syntax to enter the values into a column of a particular table is insert into table name means test and values, and I'm giving the name is Raju. But Oracle takes the characters. Oracle takes the name having the characters is called string. But Oracle takes the string value in between the single quotes only. That's why we need to use enter the string value in between the single quotes only. So this is the mandatory thing while dealing with the name column. We need to enter the string. We need to string means characters. We need to enter the characters in between the single quotes only. This is the syntax to enter the particular value for the name column. So that's why now I'm going to enter the Raju name to the name column of a test table. So let us see. One row is inserted, one row is created. That means one row is created. So let us see now. Let us see how many rows and how many columns are there in the test table. Here we have a previous syntax, select star from test table. So now I'm also now here also I'm using that query to see how many rows are there in the how many rows and columns are there in the test table. So I want to see whether the Raju name has entered or not. Whether the Raju name has been entered or not, I want to see. For that, I am using the query select star from test. So now I am clicking the enter button to see the result. So yeah, test table has been test table details has been fetched out here. So here test table is having only one column. That column name is name, and we inserted the name for that name column. We are inserted Raju as the value. That is, we are inserted Raju for the name column of the test table. So this Raju is having four characters. Raju is having the four characters here. R A J U, only four characters are there. But what will be happens while we insert like this with this char data type in test table in Oracle? What will be happens in the Oracle means? So we inserted Raju name having the four letters with this char data type, but we mentioned 10 as the size for the char data type. But remaining except this four characters, remaining six blocks will be wasted in the Oracle database. This is the drawback of char data type in Oracle database. That's why to overcome this problem, we are going to use varchar data type. So most of the users are using varchar 2 instead of varchar. Why? Because varchar stores characters up to 2000 bytes only. In database, varchar is going to be store characters up to 2000 bytes. That's why we are using, instead of varchar data type, we are using a varchar 2 data type. So it will store 4000 characters, 4000 bytes. Characters in the sense bytes. It will take one character as a byte. That's why this varchar 2 data type will store 4000 bytes in the Oracle data types. So why we are using varchar and the varchar 2 means, when dealing with the varchar data type, the remaining we are given 10 size, and we are inserted Raju name having 4 characters. The remaining 6 characters space will be wasted in Oracle database. So that is why we are using varchar and varchar 2. So varchar 2. So while comparing with the varchar, most of the users are using varchar 2. Only the size is the matter. Varchar is going to be store the characters up to 2000 bytes in Oracle database, and when it comes to varchar 2 data type, it will going to store the characters up to 4000 bytes in the Oracle database. That's why now I'm going to use varchar 2 only. I'm going to use varchar 2 only. So to understanding varchar 2 data type, now I'm going to explaining another table creation here. So for that purpose, now I'm going to clear the screen here. So now I'm going to create another table. Create table. Table name is, now I'm taking the table name is test1. So according to the table creation syntax, we should mention the column name here. So now I'm going to take the column name. Column 1 means I'm taking the column name, one name is name, and now I'm giving the data type for the name column of the test1 table. So name generally is in the form of characters, no? That's why I'm taking the varchar2. So we have seen in the previous query, we assigned the char data type of the name, but here we are going to assigning a varchar2 data type for the name column of the test2 table. So and we are mentioning the size for the varchar2 data type of the name column, and we are creating the table here. So let us see a table is going to be created or not. Let us see the output is, yeah, table test1 has been created here. So let us see the structure of the table test1. So to see the structure, that means how many columns are there in the table. To see, here we have the query is desk space table name. Table name means here test1. Yes, we got the result. And test1 table is having only one column, and we mentioned we are assigned a varchar2 data type for the name column, and we have given the size for the varchar2 data type of the name column is 10. And this is the way to see the structure of the test table. So structure of the test table, that means how many number of columns are there in the test table, and what type of data type is assigned for the particular columns. To see, this is the query desk space test1. So here we have only one column, and we have only one data type for this name column, and we have given the 10 as the size of the varchar2 data type of the name column. So let us see how many rows and how many columns are there, and how many rows are there in Oracle, how many rows are there in the test1 table in Oracle database. To see, we know very well the query is to retrieve the details of any particular table. Here we have the query select star from table name here. Table name means test1. So I want to see the how many rows are there in the test1 table. So we got the result having no rows, because we just created the name, we just created the table test1 having only one column, but we didn't insert any value under this name column of a test1 table. So that is why it is showing no rows. There are no rows in the test1 table. So that is why now I would like to enter one row to the column name. I would like to enter to the name column. I would like to enter one value to the, that means one name for the name column of the test1 table. So for that, now I'm using the insert query is insert into table name is test1, and I'm giving the values here. So so I need to give the value for the name column is Raju. Now I am giving the Raju is the name column for the test1 table. So now I am going to insert this Raju name to the column of name of the test1 table. So one row has been created in test1 table. One row has been created. So let us see once again to retrieve the number of rows, what type of rows, and how many number of rows are there in the test1 table. Here we have the query select star from test1. Table name means test1. So now I am using again this query here to see whether our row has been inserted or not. To see, I'm using this query select star from table name means test1. So yeah, we have got the result. The test table is having only one column. That column name is name, and we are inserted Raju name having 4 characters to the under the name column of a test table. So here what happens, in Oracle database, when dealing with the varchar2 data type, while creation of the table particular column, we mentioned data type for that column varchar2, and we have given the size for the varchar2 is 10, but we are inserted Raju name having only 4 characters. But we mentioned the 10 for the varchar2 data type, 10 as the size for the varchar2 data type, but while the insertion time we are entered, that means we are inserted only four letters, only four letters. But the remaining rest of the six blocks, but since we given 10 as the size for the varchar2 data type, but we inserted only Raju name having only 4 characters, then the rest of the 6 blocks will not be going to be wasted in this Oracle database. So this is the use of the varchar2 data types. When compared with the char data type, varchar2 data type is not going to be wasted the rest of the blocks in the Oracle database, so that the Oracle performance will be reduced with this varchar2 data type. This is the main difference between the char data type and varchar2 data type. So let us say the next data type is number data type. Let us see. Number, it will store the numbers into a column of a particular table. So numbers, generally we know the meaning of number, so that is why it will store numbers into a column of a table. So it will store up to 38 numbers in Oracle database. So number data type will store 38 numbers at a time in the Oracle database. So and the another way to assigning number data type is number of p comma s. Here p means precision and scale means s means scale. Number of p comma s means here p represents the precision and s represents the scale. Let us see what is the precision and scale means. If you entered the number data type having 7,2 in the bracket, so here 7 represents the precision and 2 represents the scale. To see what is this precision scale here, let us see the example. Here we have the number, that means here we have the amount 5,500.43. This is the number. Let us take the example of this number 5,500.43. So this total numbers, how many numbers are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6. This total numbers is 6. So that's why the total numbers are 6. Here 6 is called the precision. In the above and when it comes to scale, in the above expression, above number after decimal points, the total numbers are 2. That means 4 3 are there after decimal point. Here we have only 2 numbers. That numbers are called the scale. So this is the meaning of precision and scale. Here what is the precision in this number means 6, and what is the scale in this number means 2. This is the meaning of the precision and scale. This is the another way to enter the number data type for a particular column. Number of p comma s, that means we need to take 7,2 or 7,3 or 6,3 or 8,2. Like this we need to give the precision and scale for the number data type of a particular column. Let us see the examples to understand how we are going to use this number data type for a particular column of a table. To see, I want to just clear the screen here. So now I'm going to create another table here to understand the number data type. Create table. Table name is, and what I'm taking here, test2. Table name is test2, and I'm giving the column name here. Column name means marks. I will take the marks. So marks generally is in the form of numbers. That's why I'm taking the marks here. So I'm mentioning the so I'm taking the number data type for the marks. Generally marks are in the form of numbers now. That's why I'm taking the number data type for this marks column. So and I'm mentioning the 3 as the size for the number. So now I'm creating this test2 table by using this query. So let us see. Test2 table has been created here. Let us see the structure of the test2 table is. Yes, we got the structure, that means we got the how many number of rows are, how many number of columns are there in the test table, means here we have only one column under the test table, that column name is that column name is marks, and the data type for that column marks is 3, and we have given the size for the number data type is 3. So let us see how many rows are there in the test table. To see, here we have the query, we know very well, as we seen in the previous queries, as previous classes. Select star from the table name, that means test2 is the table name here. So there are no rows because we just created the test2 table having only one column, but we didn't insert, as of now we didn't insert any row, any value to this test table under the marks column. So I need to insert one value. I need to insert one value under the column of under the marks column of a test2 table. So that's why now I'm insert into which table, insert into test2 table, and the values are, now I'm going to take 530 marks, because I'm giving the up to 3 size of the number. You should insert here. We need to take 4 5 also it will take, and 5 3 3 5 also it will take, and up to 3 numbers it will take, because we have given the size for the number data type is 3. So that's why I'm taking 530. 530 is the marks value for the marks. So now I'm going to inserting this value into the marks column of a test2 table. So one row has been inserted, and let us see the structure of, let us see the details of the test2 table. Here here also I'm using the select star from table name means test2 here, to see how many rows are, how many records are there in the test2 table, means only one column and the one row is 530 we have been inserted just now. So I want to insert another row to the marks, another row to the test2 table. Insert into test2 table, and the value, that means the marks is 490. Now I'm going to inserting 490. So again another row has been inserted into the test2 table. Let's see how many rows are there in the test2 table. Table name is test2. So there are 2 rows we have been inserted. 2 rows have been inserted here. So this is the use of the number data type. So we need to mention the number data type while the table creation. So generally we know the marks is in the form of numbers. That's why we are taking the number. That's why we are giving the number as the number as the data type for the marks column, and we are giving the size up to 3 numbers. We need to we can take as marks up to 3 numbers. We can take the marks. The number of marks is 3 numbers. So this is the chance to take three numbers. That's why I'm giving the 3 is the size of the number data type for the marks. That's why I'm taking. So if you want to insert another row, to the test2 table, insert into test2 table. Values are now I'm taking 56 because only now I'm taking only two numbers, because why because here we have mentioned 3 as the size of the number data type. Now I'm taking only 2 numbers. It will also take, here 3 means we can take the numbers up to 3 letters. So that is why I'm taking 56. So here also this number also has been inserted into the test2 table. Let us see. So why it is inserted? It has been inserted means we have given the test. We have given the size is 3. So 56 also has been inserted into this test table. So this is the way to insert the number data type for the marks column. If you want to insert another row like now I'm giving the value of the next another row means I'm giving 445.6. So 445.6. So now I'm going to enter inserting this. Now I'm going to inserting this value to the marks column. So what will be happen? So just see the output. So yeah, missing select keyword. That means so here we exceed this number exceeds the size of the number data type. Size of the number data type. That's why it hasn't been inserted into the table 2. So let us see this row has been inserted to the table test2 or not. So here I want to see how many rows are there in the test2 table. Only 3 rows are there. This value 3 4 5 6 hasn't been inserted to this test2 table. This is the way to you understand the number data type. Let us see the another data type. Another way to understand the number data type is that for that purpose now I'm going to create another table here. So create table name is test here, test3. Create table name is test3 here. I'm going to mention the one column name here, fees, student fee. So fees is always in the form of amount. Amount is nothing but the numbers, but amount is what type of forms are there. Amount is like a 5,500 dot 56, like this only numbers. So we can take for example we have the number format is amount format is 5,500 or 5,000 or 8,609.53. Amount is always in the form of like this only. That's why I'm taking SV column. The data type for the SV column is number data type. But here it is having the precision and scale. So here it is having the precision and scale. So precision and scale. So in place of precision, now I'm going to give the size for the precision is 7, and I'm going to I'm going to assigning the size for the scale is 2. So this is the way to use the number data type for the fee, for the amount column, for the fee column. So this is the way to use the number having the precision and the scale. So now I'm going to creating this table. So let us see the output. Table test3 has been created here. Just see the structure of the table test3 here. Sorry. Just see the structure of the test3 here. Yeah, having only one column. That column name is fee, S fee, and we mentioned the what type of data is going to be stored under the S fee. That is why we are using the number data type, because the S fee is always in the form of numbers only. That is why we are taking the number data type, and we are giving the precision and the scale for the number data type of the S fee. So this is the structure of the test3 table. That means the where we have seen how many columns are there in the test3 table by using this desk space test3 query. So and you need to see the how many rows. We need to see the how many rows are there in the test table. We know very well the query is select star from table name. That means the test3 here. So there are no rows, because only we just created the table having only column. That column is SV, and we mentioned the data type for the SV is number, having the precision and scale is 7 and 2. But we didn't insert as of now any row or any value to this test3 table. So I would like to insert one row to the test3 table. Insert into table name is test3, and I'm giving the values. Here of 3500, 0.35. So this is the amount I need to give. I need to give to the I need to I need to insert into the test3 table. So just observe that this amount. Just observe that this amount having how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers. So the precision is satisfied here. The precision is satisfied here. We didn't exceed the precision number is precision number 7. We didn't exceed the total numbers are not exceeded the precision whatever we given in the table creation. The precision is 7. That's why here we are inserting the number that is not going to be exceeds the precision's number. So here we have the 7 numbers. It is satisfied. So and the scale we are mentioned while the table creation. We are 2 is the precision for the number data type, and we are inserting the 3, 3 and 5. So here also the scale is also not been exceeded by this value. Now I'm going to entering this. Now I'm going to inserting this value into the test3 table. So one row has been selected. Let us see the how many rows are there in the test3 table. Test3 table. Yeah, here we have the one value is there under the SV. So one amount is there. Similarly, I need to enter one more. I need to insert one more column to the one more value to the one more row to the test3 table. Values are 23.09. I will take this number to enter into the to insert into the test3 table. So here total numbers are 4. Here total numbers are 4, and we have given the size for the total numbers. That means the precision number is 7. So these 4 numbers are not exceeded this 7. So that is why it's going to be it has been satisfied the precision's value. It has been satisfied the precision's value. So and we have given scale value is 2. That means 0, 9. Total numbers is 0 means 1, 9 means 2. Total numbers is 2. So this precision value is also not exceeded the scale value. This decimal values are also not exceeded the scale value. That is why we have a chance to insert this value also to the test3 table. So into the test insert into, so yeah, spelling mistake is there. Insert into I didn't mention the into in the query. To test3 values, and I am giving the value is 23.09. so I'm inserting. So one more row has been inserted into the test3 table. Let us see the records in the test3 table. Yeah, there are two records are there in the test3 table. So this is the way to use the number data type in the Oracle database. If you want to enter the amount is exceeding the precision, that means it's exceeding the 7 and the scale value, so then that row is going to be inserted or not. Let's see. Now I'm going to inserting one value insert into test3, and I'm giving the number. Now I'm giving the number is 5600 56,546. So here just observe the this query. I'm inserting one row. So I'm inserting one row. Here I am inserting one row. That row is having the total numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The precision of that means the total numbers are 8. So it exceeds the rule of the precision scale. What is the number we have given in the number data type as a precision 7, but we are mentioning the precisioning having the 8 numbers. So this total number is exceeds the precision rule. That's why it will not be going to be inserted into the test 3 table. And the scale also exceeded. We know very well here 2 represents the scale of the precision. 2 represents the scale of the number data type. So what is mean by scale means after decimal points we should take only 2 numbers, but here we are inserting 3 numbers after decimal points. So this is also not satisfying with the scale of the data type of the SV column. So this row is not going to be inserted into the test 3 table. Let us see whether it is going to be inserted or not. Let us see the output please. So one row has been created. Let us see. Sorry. So we are given 8 numbers as a precision, but it will take only 7 numbers, up to 7 numbers. Up to 7 numbers only it will take. It has been taken. So what happened here? We are mentioned 8 numbers, but we have given the size. We have given the size for the number data type is 7,2. It will convert this number. It will convert this number to 7,2 in the form of 7,2. That means 56,000.55 means here we have the 7 numbers, and after decimal point we got the 2 numbers. That's why it will not be stored this value into the SV column, and it will convert, so that it converted this value into the precision value is 7 and the decimal value is 2. This is the way to enter enter the values when the total numbers exceeds the precision value whatever we given in the table creation in the data type. And when the situation it seems to be exceeds the scale value also, it will convert the total number of scale values into 2, because we have given the 7,2 is the precision in the school for the number data type. This is the way of understanding number data type in the Oracle database. So let's say the next one is integer data type. Integer data type means integer is also nothing but number data type. Integer also nothing but is number data type. But when we are going to enter some numbers, like for example, for a column student ID, I'm going to entering for a column I'm going to enter the 1 comma 2 comma 3. So now I'm going to enter the SID values are 1 comma 2 comma 3. So it is better to take these are the integers rather than the number data type. So integer is nothing but a number data type. So but it is very better to improve the Oracle performance, it is very better to take integer instead of numbers. So what will be happens, if you take integer data type instead of number data type, I'm going to create one table here. Create table. That means test 4 table. So I'm taking the only one column, that is SID. That means the student ID. So student ID is in the form of numbers only. That's why I'm taking number data type. So number data type, or instead of taking number data type, we need to take integer data type. So it is why we are taking integer data type means SID, sometimes SID is in the form of 1 comma and 1 and 2 or 4 or 11 or 13 or like this only. SID numbers are there in the school for the particular student, for particular student ID in the school, particular school. The SID, that means ID number may be in the form of 1 or 2 or 4 or 11 and the 13. For these 2 zeros and the 1 digits numbers, it is not suitable to take the number data type instead of the integer data type. Number data type is not suitable for this numbers, suitable for this the student ID number. So that's why I'm taking, instead of number data type, I'm taking the integer data type. So this is the a way of using this integer data type instead of number data types. But Oracle what does, here Oracle does when we are entering this integer data type to a particular column of a table, then it will internally converts these integers into 36 numbers. So when we are using integer data type to a particular column of a table, then Oracle will convert these integers into 38 numbers. So this is the mechanism has been done internally by the Oracle. When we are going to use integer data type for a particular column, so then internally the Oracle will convert that integers into 38 numbers in Oracle database. This is the mechanism of Oracle database when we are using integer data type for the particular column. So let us see the examples for the integer data type to enter the values into the into some table. That's why I'm creating one table here. Create table. We know very well the syntax for the table creation. Create table name means here I'm taking test4 and I'm giving the column name is SID, or in any organization you can take the employee ID. So whatever you want to take, you can take here, because we need to assigning the values in the form of integers only. That's why I'm taking SID, student ID. So student ID values are in the form of integers only. So I'm creating this table. The table test4 has been created here. So let us see the structure. That means how many columns are there in the test4 table. So only one column. Here we have only one column, and the column name is SID. That means SID means student ID, and we are mentioned. Let us see. Internally, Oracle what did internally Oracle convert this integer data types into 38 numbers. Up to 38 numbers it will take when we are using this integer data type to the SID column. The Oracle converted this integer data types into size is 38 numbers. So you can enter 38 numbers by using this integer data types. So it is also nothing but number data type. Here integer also nothing but number data type. So when we are using this integer, when we are assigning this integer data type to a particular column of a table, then internally Oracle convert this integer data type into numbers. We can take the numbers into the limit is 38 numbers. This is the mechanism has been done by the Oracle internally. So this is the concept of integer data type assigning to a particular column of a table. So to see the how many records, that means how many rows are there in the test4 table. Here we have the syntax is select star from test4. So there are no nodes. There are no nodes. We just created the table having only one column. That column is SID, and we assigned the data type for the SID column is integer, and the internally Oracle converts that integer data type into the number data type. We can take, that means we can take the integers up to 38 numbers. So here Oracle converts this integer data type into the number data type. That means here integer is nothing but the numbers. Nothing in Oracle terminology, integer is nothing but the numbers. So we just created the table having only one column, but we didn't inserted any row to the, that means we didn't any value to the test4 table. That's why it's showing when we are retrieving the details of the test table, that means select star from test4, it is showing no rows are there in the test table, no rows are there in the test table. So now I would like to enter one row to the test table, test4 table. Insert into queries, insert into table name. Here means test4, and I am mentioning the values here. So insert into test4 values. Now I am giving student ID is 10. Student ID is 10. So one row has been created, has been inserted into the test table, and similarly now I am going to insert another row. Insert into test4 table, and values are 56 or 45. So another row has been created here. Similarly I need to enter third row to the test4 table, and I am giving the value for the third row is 26 I am giving. So these are the three rows has been inserted into the test4 table. Let us see how many rows we have inserted as of now to the test4 table. To see, the table name is test4. Yeah, we have been inserted. We are inserted 3 rows to the test table under the SID column. So we are giving these integers, but internally this Oracle converts this integers into numbers. This integers into numbers. That's why here integer is nothing but the numbers. So whatever the data type you need to take, you can take out of this integer or number, but it is very better to use integer instead of taking number data type for a IDs of a particular student or IDs of a particular employees. It is very better because only it is having two numbers or one number. Like that only we can take the ID, the number, we can take the value for the IDs are only one number and two number. That's why I'm taking integer, but internally that integer also has been converted into numbers by the Oracle. So this is the usage of the integer data type. Then we have date data type. Then we have date data type. So date in the form of date only. So that's why we are taking date data type. So let us see. If you observe, for example, I need to enter the employee date of join in a particular table. So that's why I'm creating one table here. Create table. Table name is test4. Test5. I'm taking table name is test5, and I'm giving the date of join. Or hire date means joining date. Hire date. So joining, whatever you should take, you can take. Whatever do you want to take, you can take. This is DOG means date of join of the employee. So what type of data is storing under this date of join means date format only we can take. That's why I'm giving the data type for the DOJ is date data type. This is the way. Or you can take instead of DOJ, you can take date of join. Column name is date of join. or you can take joining date. Joining date. So joining date. Joining date. So we are taking the column name is joining date, and we are assigning the data type for the joining date is date. So why we are assigning date data type for this joining date means joining date is in the form of date only. That's why I am taking the date as the data type for the joining date. Let us see the practical example to understand this data type in Oracle database. So for that purpose, I'm just creating one table here. Create table name is test5. Table name is test5. So I'm taking the one column here. So that is joining date of the employee. Joining date. So I'm giving the data type for the joining date column is date. Date column is date. So I need to create this table. Table name is test5, having only one column. That column name is joining date, and I'm assigning the data type for the joining date is date. I'm assigning data type for the joining date is date. So the table has been created. Test5 table has been created. Let us see the structure of the test5 here. Structure of the test5 here. To see the structure of the test5, desk space test5. So yeah, this test5 table is having one column. That column name is joining date, and its data type is date. So we need to see the structure. We need to see the details of the test5 table. So that means how many records. That means how many rows are there in the test5 table. So for that I'm using select star from test5. So there are no rows. So it shows the no rows. Why it is shows no rows? So we just created the test5 table having only one column, but we didn't inserted any value to that column of the test table 5. So that's why it's showing no rows are there in the test table. So now I would like to enter one row to the insert, and I would like to insert one row to the test5 table. Insert into table name is test5, and I'm giving the values are. What type of date or joining date I will take the joining date. One employee is joined in the date is 10th. Like strings, like character and the string. Here date also you should take in between the single quotes only. Oracle will take the number characters and the letters, and the date format should be in single quotes only. So I'm giving the date in between the single quotes. So one employee has been joined in July 1981. So now I'm going to insert this value into into the test5 table. So let us see test5 table. Not a valid month. Sorry. Always date format in the Oracle database. Always in the Oracle database, and the format of the date should be given like this only. That's why I'm getting error. Like this only I'm getting error. So only this format only we should take the date format. So I just want to clear the screen. So here we have the table. I need to see the table test5 records. There is no rows, so I want to insert into test5. Now I'm mentioning one employee's details, and that is date month here. Year means 1981. Insert into values. Insert into values. In between the single quotes, because Oracle take the date in between the single quotes only. and I'm giving 6 as the month, and I'm giving 1981 80 or so. Yeah, not a valid month. Why it is showing not valid month? I don't know. So it is in the form, I think it is in the form of, oh yeah, it is in the form of month. My system is in the form of month and date and year. So that is why I'm getting error often. This is my system. Just see bottom of the my system. Here month. Just see my screen. Bottom of my system time. Just see the my system time. The month is appears first, then the date is appears second, and the year is appears last. That's why it is getting error. So it will synchronizes with my my personal system time also. That's why I'm getting error. So I would like to enter the date format again into my system, my laptop. So, so select star from test file. More rows are there. Now I want to insert one row to my test file table. Insert into test file. Values are test file values are 06. I'm giving the month, and I'm giving the date is 12, and I'm giving the year. One employee is joined 12th June 1980 here. So I'm giving the insert into the testify values. Insert into testify value. I'm giving the values is 6th month, 12th date, and 1980. He has been joined. He has been joined. I need to take in between the single quotes only, because Oracle take the characters and the date format in between the single quotes only. So one employee has been joined in 1980 in 6th month, 12th date. So I want to insert this row into testify table. So not valid month. Not a valid month. Why I am getting error? Just see. If you get any error, just copy that error code. Just copy that error code, and you have to see in the Google Chrome. So why we are getting the error? I don't know how I am getting that error. To insert the date. Yeah, for that error, not valid. If you get any error, you can see in Google only. This is the process to overcome the errors in the Oracle database. So let us see the reason why we are getting error means. To date, select star from date menu. I want to know why this error is giving. Message error. SQL error. Date has been. Re-enter the value using either a month format or mask. January, February. March, April. 10th. Yeah. As for my system date format, I need to enter the values. But I'm giving 06 and 12. But in my system only 5 is there. My system time is not showing the 0 before the 5. That's why I entered 06, but I'm getting error. So let us see what will be happen. So if I'm entering the values, testify values. 6th month, 10th, 1980. 6th, 12th, 1980. 1980. So, not a valid month. What we should do, the structure of, I need to see the structure of the testify table. So date format only I take the date format. So I want to insert into testify values are month means 4 or 10th month 4, and I am giving the January. So if I take the January, instead of giving the month name, I am giving the June. Instead of giving the month name is 6, and he is joined in 1980. So let us see, is it going to be inserted or not? Yeah, one row is created. Yeah, I'm taking, instead of month name, I'm taking the month name is 06. That's why I'm getting a repeatedly error. So one row has been created, one row has been inserted into the testify table. Let us see that row, testify. So in Oracle format, only it will take date and month name, month of January or February or March, like this only it will take. So I'm giving the number of the month. That's why I'm getting repeatedly error here. And the year format you need to take 1980 or 2022, like this. So this is the way to enter. This is the way to enter the date for a particular employee. That's why I'm giving repeatedly error. So I just want to clear the screen here. I just want to clear the screen here. CLSCR. So I want to see the number of records in testify table. Only one row is there. I would like to enter one more row to testify table. Testify table. Values are 09. I'm taking this month is February, and he is joined in 2020 to 2020. We should take date always in single quotes now. 09 and February and 2020. So his date of join is 2020. So one row here, another row has been inserted into the testify table, and similarly I need to enter another employee's joining date to the testify table, and the values are 01, and that month is April. That month is April, and 2019 has been joined. So there are 3 rows are inserted into the testify table. Let us see how many rows are there in the testify table. To see, select star from table name is testify. Yeah, there are 3 rows. So yeah guys, this is the data types concept. Data types will specify what type of data is storing under a particular column of a table. Let us see. We have seen only one column for a particular data type. Now I want to create another table. Having including all the data types for all the columns. Let us see. For example, table is, I need to create another table. So for that purpose, the table name is test 6. Drop table test 6. So I want to just clear the screen here. If if I'm using all the data types in all the columns at a time, so we have seen only one column and having only one data types in a particular tables. So now I'm going to use all the columns, all the data types in a single table. So now I'm creating one table here, the table name is test6, and I'm giving the column name one is SID, it is the integer data type, and I'm giving the S name, that is the name data type, that is the name, not that is I'm going to use a varchar2 data type or char data type, varchar2 data type, and I'm mentioning the size is 10, and mentioning the size is varchar2 data types. I'm mentioning the size for the name column is 10, and I'm giving the data of join of the students, and that is the date data type, and I'm giving the marks column for the student, and that is in the form of numbers, and I'm taking the number data type, and I'm giving the size for that data type is 3, and the student fee, that is in the form of amount is nothing but the numbers, that's why I'm taking the number data type for this student fee, and I'm taking the number should not exceed the precision, and scale is 7,2. This is the table creation, create table 6 SID. So missing right parenthesis. So here number spelling is mistaken. I did mistaken number spelling here. So number spelling. I need to create once again this table. I need to copy this. Copy up to this. So I need to copy and paste. Number data type, I did a mistake in number spelling, that's why getting error while creation. So I'm taking SV column, and I'm giving the data type for the SV column is 7,2. That means the fees is not exceeds the precision 7 and the scale 2. So this is the way to create the test 6 table. Let us see the structure of the test 6 table. To see desk space table name, that means table name means test 6. So this is the structure of the test 6, that means how many number of columns, what type of columns and what type of data types for that columns are there in the test table. For that we need to use the desk space test 6. So here we have 5 columns are there, and that column, so these are the data types we have given to this 5 columns. For SID we have given the integer, that integer internally Oracle converts this integer data types into number, and for S name we have given the varchar2 data type, and having the size is 10, and for date of join column we mentioned the date data type, and for marks column of a student we assigned the number is the data type, having 3 is the size. So that means up to 3 you can take any numbers. So and the fee column, SV column, we take the number data type having the values are not exceeding the precision 7 and the scale 2. This is the structure of the test 6 table. Now I am going to insert the values into the test 6 table. Let us see how many rows are there in the test 6 table. How many rows are there in the test 6 table? To see, select star from test 6 table. So there are no rows are there in the table. We just created the table having only 5 columns, but we didn't insert as of now any column, or we didn't insert as of now any row and any value to this test 6 table. And now I would like to enter. That means now I would like to insert one row to the test 6 table. Table name is test 6, and values are values. So first, what is the first column name? SID. I'm going to take the SID value is 10. Now I'm going to take the SID value is 10. What is the S name? I'm going to take the S name is Raju, but characters has been taken in between the Oracle takes the characters in between the single quotes only. Now I'm going to take the value for the name for the S name is Raju. We should mention in between the single quotes only. Oracle allows the characters in between the single quotes only. That's why I'm giving the single quotes here. And then date of joining of the Raju. Date of joining of the Raju is 10th January. 10th January. I am taking date of join of the Raju 10th January 1995. I am taking here 1995. So here date also should be taken in between the single quotes. Oracle takes the date format in single quotes only. That's why I am giving the single quotes. And then next column is marks. Now I am taking the marks is 530 or 390 for a Raju student getting the 390 marks here. And the Raju school fees is the next column is S fee. That's why I am taking the school fee in the form of amount. That is nothing but numbers. That means Raju school fee is 5600 43 45 or 5600 45. So these total numbers are not exceeded the 7 value, and that these two numbers are not exceeded the 2 values. So that's why it will take this school fee as a value for the SV column of the test 6 table. Let us say one row is going to be created, one row is going to be inserted. So has been inserted here, one row has been inserted here. Let us see how many rows are there, what are the rows in the test 6 table here. Test 6 table. Let's see, we have inserted only one row to the test 6 table. Let us see how many rows are there in test 6 table. Yeah, we have inserted the 5 rows. We have given 10 as a SID, and the Raju as the name, and the date of joining of the Raju student is 10th January 1995, and the marks of the Raju is 390, and the school fee of the Raju is 5600.45. So same like this, I want to insert one more row to this test 6 table. Test 6 table, and the values are SID. I am going to take 11, and the name is Kiran, and the name is Kiran because it is the characters name. We should take the characters in between the single quotes only. And date of join of the Kiran is 8 March and 1998, and date also should be in the single quotes only. Oracle takes the date formats in single quotes. That's why I'm giving the date in between the single quotes only, and comma, and the marks Kiran got the marks 450 460, and the school fees of the Kiran is I'm taking 3600 37 is the school fee for the Kiran. And now I'm going to inserting this row into test 6 table. So here another row has been inserted into the test 6, and now I am to see the details of test 6 table. So test 6 table, yeah, there are 2 rows has been inserted to the test 6 table. One row is having the records of Raju, and second row is having the records of Kiran. So this is the way to insert the values into the test 6 table. So here in test 6 table we have seen the data types of all the columns. Here SID is having the number integer data type. That means nothing but integers are internally converted into numbers. That is why the SID can take the both data types, integer and numbers. And the S name is taking the data type as a sname is taking the data type as a varchar2. We can also use we can also take the char data type for the sname, and here the date of join means date of join in the form of dates only. That's why I'm taking the date as the data type for the date of join, and marks generally is in the form of numbers only. That's why I'm taking the number data type for the marks, and having the size is 3. And the SV column I'm taking the SV column is in the form of amount only. Amount is nothing but numbers. So here also amount is nothing but numbers. That's why I'm taking number data type for the SV, but amount is in the form of decimal points, and decimal point of a float value. Amount in the form of float value. Float value is nothing but amount is there and the decimal point is there. That's why I'm taking the precision and scale for the SV. So this is the process to use all data types in a single column of all the columns of a particular table. So thank you very much, guys. This is the data types concept in Oracle database. So thank you very much. See you in the next session. Bye all.